Alright, this is going to be putting a patient in a stokes basket and how to lash them in using the seat harness and a chest harness made out of webbing. And you're going to need two 15-foot sections of webbing, and then for your chest harness you'll need a 20-foot section of webbing. For your waist harness or more if they're a bigger individual. And then you need as big of a piece of webbing as you can get for your lashing, because ultimately in the end it's going to be one solid piece. Okay, what we've done here is we've pulled out all the webbing. We've taken our two 15-foot sections of webbing and we've tied just a simple overhand knot in one end. And this is going to be the end that goes over your torso of your victim. So we've took the one and we crossed it. We took the second one with the same overhand and we crossed it. Now the opposite ends of those are they're open. So don't tie a knot or anything. You only need a knot in the one end. We took our 20-foot section of webbing, which is going to be our harness for the victim, and we've laid it in a U shape where the pelvis and in between the legs are going to be at, and then we just draped it over the edge of the stokes basket. The reason why we did this is so when we get our victim in here, instead of having to move the victim around and getting the webbing underneath the victim with moving them a lot, having this U shape in there helps, so you can just pull it up in between their legs. There are no knots on the end of the pelvic section, and it's convenient. You lay it out on the table and you might think, well, what happens if I have to roll a victim in the stokes basket? It works. I mean, you can tilt it up, you can roll somebody in it, and I mean, granted your webbing's going to move around, but it's still ultimately in the same place, and it's easier for you to get to. Okay, what we've got our victim placed in the stokes basket. Our ropes, our webbings are still in position where they were. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make the pelvic harness, okay, or the modified hasty harness. So our U shape that was in the middle of the stokes before our victim comes in, we're going to bring them up. Okay, it's easy access because we did it early, so it was a good thing. So we're going to take our ends of our loops and we're going to pull them through like so. And we want to get it nice and snug. Okay, obviously we want to be kind of gentle. Alright, once we get to this point, what we're going to do is we're just going to make an overhand knot right here by the U shape that we had. Alright, so we've got our harness. Now what we do with our ends is we're going to bring them up to the top of the stokes basket. Okay. Now once we're up at the top of the stokes basket, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap around the inside of the beams, because we don't want to wrap over the outside, because it could abrade on something and come undone. So we're just going to simply wrap it around once. Okay. And you can leave it kind of loose. It doesn't have to be super snug right now. Okay, so what we're going to do with our end of our webbing is we're going to make a fisherman's knot, like you would for the start of your prusik, or so we're just going to grab it, we're going to loop it around, make our knot. And like I said, it can be loose, it's okay for right now. You want to leave it kind of loose because it's adjustable. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll do the other one. Sorry if my hand's in your way, but if you guys don't know how to tie a fisherman's knot, get with an instructor or supervisor. They'll go over it with you. It's kind of pivotal for this entire setup. You have to know how to do it. Alright, so there's our two fisherman's knots, okay? And you want to leave them kind of loose, because what we're going to do is we're going to snug them up. See how loose that is? What we can do is we can pull tension on the rope, and we can adjust this knot until it slides into place. So we get it good and tight. Now, once it's tight, we have to cinch the knot down so it holds in place. So you'll just grab the tail after you tensioned it and cinch it down, and it'll stay in position. So we'll repeat it with this process. We'll bring it up, create slack, cinch down the knot, get it all smoothed down where we want it. Once we get it where we want it, we'll cinch it down. Now we're going to move on to the chest harness. With our crisscrosses that are already in position, what we're going to do is same thing. We're going to wrap around the inside because we don't go over the top. And it's good to have this knot, not in the middle, but just right over the pelvic bone. And to take up that slack, we're going to have to go across shoulders and pull that slack out. Because what you're going to want is, eventually, the opposite webbing is going to come through here and it's going to come back up the shoulder. So you want to have it kind of in line with the shoulders. So we're going to go over here to this other one, do the same thing, wrap it around. See how that's a little far out, so I'll come to this one, because remember it crisscrosses. Line it up. Alright. Now that those are in position, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the opposite webbing down to the opposite loop that you made earlier. Okay, so these are the same pieces of webbing, so it's going to go to the opposite. So you're going to bring it straight down the shoulder, make sure it's in position over the shoulder, put it through the loop. Once you've pulled it through the loop and you know it's on the shoulder, it's going to go down to the other side of the stokes basket. Likewise with this one. Okay, this piece of webbing was for this loop, so it's going to come to the opposite loop. Make sure it goes down over the shoulder, comes through the loop, and then crisscrosses back to the other side. Now, it's best to tie off. I could tie off here in the middle, but for mechanical advantage purposes, we're going to go further down. Alright, so we're going to tie this one the same way that we tied the pelvic harness up over the top. You're going to go around the inside. You're going to come up, get your fisherman's loop. Like I said, you can leave it, it'll be kind of loose at first. Now, depending on the size of your victim, you see that I've obviously got quite a bit of webbing left. If you had a big construction worker or something, you wouldn't have as much left. So 15 foot's a good section to have. Alright, so that's loose. Come down here to this other side. Same thing. Alright, now that that's in position, what we're going to do is, just like the top, we're going to cinch it down. Alright, so I'm going to pull down on this. It's going to come across. I'm going to slide my knot up. Once I get it where I want it, I'm going to snug that tail down. Okay, you don't snug the tail down until you've got it cinched up. Alright, so same over here. We're going to pull the tension in, bring it around, slide that knot up. Once I get it where I want it, I'm going to cinch it down. Alright, what we've done is, because Mark is not a bigger gentleman, we've switched from a 50 to a 25 foot section of webbing for the final step of the process, which is the lashing over the stokes basket. Okay, we're going to pull it out of the daisy chain, grab our middle piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to girth hitch it along the bottom, right in the middle. Okay, once we get our girth hitch in there, we're going to spread the webbing out, and then we're going to wrap each piece around the foot. So we'll go over the top, around and under, on both sides. Around the top, under the foot, under the webbing. Alright, now once we've got this part taken care of, the lashing goes just like any other lashing we've ever done. We stay on the inside, crisscross, all the way up to the top. Staying on the inside of the rail. Okay, leave that there while I do the other one. Now, same thing as earlier. Fisherman's knot. Like I said, it's the pivotal point of tying everything in the system. So, tie it real quick. Like I said, it's going to be a little loose. Get it in there. You know, don't cinch down the tail yet. Okay. Tie this one also. Alright, now once we've got our knots loosely tied, we're going to come through, we're going to cinch everything down real good. Follow it up, get it good and tight, and once we get it good and tight, we can pull this fisherman's knot up. See how that knot just kind of slides right up into position once I've got it cinched down. And I got it where I want it, so I'll grab that tail and I'll pull on it real tight. Get it cinched so it doesn't go anywhere. Alright. Now I'm going to repeat it on this side. Get everything all cinched down. Pull my slack out of it. Slide my knot up into position. Get it where I want it. Cinch down the tail. Grab that tail and pull tight. Okay, this is the proper way, according to the CMC rescue manuals, the rope rescue manuals, and the confined space rescue manuals on how to properly secure a victim into a stokes basket for transport. You can now attach your spider and adjust it however you need to get them out of the hole, or use this for a high angle rescue.